So, guys, as we're recording today, the date today, they announced the Game Award nominations. Gerry, did you see? Did you see what's going on right there?
I was about to say Clear Expedition, baby, but there's a lot of good, really like good runner-ups competition between all of them. It's hard to actually be definitive on my choice. I haven't played Donkey Kong Bonanza, but that one it deserves up to be up there. And Death Stranding 2, of course. And I guess since Adam's not here, I guess Silk Song. But the other two, I can kind of.
So I was telling Oscar before we started, out of all the nominations, Claire Obscure shows up 12 times.
Fuck yeah.
That is a new record for the Game Awards.
That's right.
And you know what? I'm willing to bet it's gonna win at least 10 of the categories.
I don't know if it'll win 10, but I would say it would definitely.
It's gonna win 3.
I think for sure it'll definitely take Game of the Year too.
Yeah, it's gonna win. There's no doubt.
I don't know why I'm treating it like a sports match, but Death Stranding 2 was waited for a long time, and there are a lot of Kojima fanboys like ourselves. And Silk Song 2 was waited for a long time too, so it's like, if anything is between those three, it's up in the air, but maybe because it's my algorithm, my own personal algorithm, but I keep seeing Clear Obscure everywhere, so it's not done talking yet. Even on Kojima's page, right, on Instagram, when he posted the nominations for Game of the Year, there were a couple of people commenting underneath just gifs of Clair Obscur. Fuck those guys, but I don't know, man. They have some truth to them.
Yeah, I said it to Oscar. You know, I really hate to say it, but based on what I've looked at, I'm also willing to bet that Death Stranding might not win one award this year.
Ooh.
You know, I think I'll be okay with that.
You know, this kind of reminds me of, I think it was Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2
Yeah.
before Claire was the one that got the most nominations, right? But it didn't win a single thing.
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty nutty. I don't know. When I think about some of the nominees that Death Stranding 2 has, like, I think it's also in Best Game Direction. Not like I would expect it to win that either. But just as an example, you know, like, it's definitely in its own niche for that type of game, you know? Like, in and of itself, that kind of genre is pretty exclusive to just, like, Kojima games, I'd say. In times, I can say that, true, it probably won't win. If anything, it'll probably be second. I can definitely see people voting for this to be, like, you know, the next thing, if not the number one thing. That's my take on it.
Yeah, game direction, I think that's usually the second place spot. So maybe it'll take that, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to vote for, like, best soundtrack, you know, like Woodkid and Ludwig. Like, they did pretty good jobs, but again,
Lorien test hard, bro.
Yeah, what do you mean the game devs just went on SoundCloud and found this guy?
Dude, this man made an album with a game attached.
What do you mean the director of Clair Obscur, if you go to his YouTube channel, he has a Virgil DMC5 Special Edition combo video? What do you mean that the main writer for Clair Obscur's influence is Wheel of Time? What are we talking about here?
I don't even know all that, but that's fucking cool. Yeah.
That's so awesome, dude.
What do you mean these guys all worked at Ubisoft and they pitched the concept of this game years ago and Ubisoft says, you know what? That doesn't sound cool. So they left and made their own studio. What do you mean the devs that made Dispatch also came from Ubisoft and left and made their own studio?
Hell yeah, brother. God, that game is so good.
Anywho, yeah, excited for Game Awards. Let's see what we're going to get trailer-wise. It's been a year, guys. Where's the Turok trailer? That's all I'm asking. God. Did it again. Played some demos. Some new ones came out recently. Oscar brought it up before we started. We both checked out Voidbreaker. It's a roguelike FPS, like it's like Ghost Runner kind of or something, right? Like fast-paced shooting game, really cool aesthetics. You know, I joke around and say Marathon wished it looked like this.
Yeah, especially with that kind of, I would say that design of like futuristic, like geometric shapes and stuff like that. Like all the walls in the future have to be like, you know, tetrahedrons or decahedrons and just like weird ass shapes and stuff like that when they do like all the textures and stuff for anything futuristic. So you definitely see a lot of that combined with like I don't know, the environment really reminds me of like, I want to say it kind of reminds me of like the finals mixed in with like Control. When I reference Control, it reminds me of like all of the destruction you can do with like all of the shit around you. And the finals is also a game where that really deals with like collision and destruction and all sorts of shit. Like both of those games I feel like have a huge dynamic in the idea of breaking down structures, right? Like whether you're in a building with your team or whatever, and somebody takes a sledgehammer to like a floor above you or below you to the structural columns and stuff like that, and like the whole building goes down. Those same moments you see in like Battlefield 6 where people are like using the rocket launchers and shit, and you see like the whole buildings just fall and stuff like that. It's like same energy, pretty much 1-to-1. And I think that shit is pretty cool. I would say the one thing I like about them putting in the idea of like adding like destruction into gameplay, I think it's kind of interesting. You don't get any health packs in that game. The way that you would regain health is by basically having to kill your enemies. It's a game where it pretty much expects you to excel at getting around and destroying enemies while you're still progressing through the environment. When you do any sort of like destruction to the environment, that destruction has a chance to basically stun your enemies. Like they have their own health bar, and then underneath their health bar, they'll have like I don't really remember the term that they used, but it was like a stun gauge basically, where as long as there was a certain amount of destruction happening around them or something like that, they would get stunned, like the bar would turn green. And then when you shoot and kill these enemies, like they would drop health orbs and ammo replenishment, so like that's basically your way of like continuing and doing stuff like that. I didn't get very far ultimately. I did like one run and then I stopped playing because it was pretty late for me. But I do feel like I want to go back and try a couple more runs. The only thing that I would say is, I guess that I just didn't really enjoy, it was kind of more or less the design of the enemies so far. Like I want to say a bit of it when I was playing also kind of reminded me of Destiny. And I just didn't like that, to be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Destiny, but I also don't like Destiny.
Yeah, that's fair. I had a fun time playing it. I mean, it's cool. Like, the gun felt good. I didn't get enough points to unlock just the regular rifle. Yeah, it got hard at the end. I don't know. It's like, I like the game, but I'm not fast enough for it. I'm probably not going to play any more of it. I might give it another crack.
Yeah, I think that game is probably somewhat up my alley. Hey, did you happen to try the demo for Octopath Traveler? They pretty much let you have 3 hours to play the demo, so you can get as far as you possibly can. The game does not hold your hand, so I really appreciate this for an RPG. Like, it's been a minute since I played a good tactical role-playing game. Like, it's definitely got that what do you call it? The waiting time system, right? Where you have to like choose your turn and stuff like that. It's not active time. So you have your opportunity to really strategize and decide what you want. Like I said, the difficulty when it comes to some of the battles, even in the demo, it's just, they don't hold your hand at all, right? Like they give you the base tutorial and they're like, hey, here you go. Now that you figured out combat, from this point forward, when you do the game, when you do the battles, like there's no like tutorial that will come up and tell you to use items or freebies or anything like that. One of the bosses that you fight, pretty much like the first or second boss, I would say, I got stuck on that guy for like a good 30 minutes. I really had to think about how I was going to beat this guy and like really like pull out all the stops and stuff like that. One thing that's cool about the demo that I like, I really wish Adam was here, like something called battle points. At least I think I'm saying it right, but battle points, BP points, right? And so every time it's the start of your turn, when you complete an action, like you attack somebody and you manage to hit them like with the vulnerability, you get a BP point. And what the BP point does is on your next turn, you can consume a BP point to do another action. So essentially you can attack somebody twice, or you can do like a command twice. Sometimes if it's like a skill, it won't let you do it twice, but it will power it up, basically. So it's like level 1 version of the skill, level 2, level 3, level 4. And I think if you consume 4 points, it just goes to max, and you'll do like the max amount of damage. You know, one of the things that's just very nostalgic about like sprite games is whenever they do like any sort of power or anything like that, I always just thought it looked so cool, right? When you kind of put together like all the little noises and stuff like that, plus all the special effects. So, you see like a little pixel dude and he's like doing like a Omega Flare or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden it's just like some beautiful animation of just like a fucking comet coming down into Earth and just smashing into like this pixelated chicken that you're fighting or some bullshit like that. So this game is definitely rad. I'm definitely going to pick it up. I'd say it's probably worth your time to play the demo if you're just looking to get into like a good story. I think the story is pretty good too because, like I said, there's so many directions that you can take just from the beginning. I think that's one of the beautiful things about Octopath Traveler is it's always been very fluid in what direction you want to take the story in pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I know if Adam was here, like you said, he'd be gushing all over the place about that game probably. I didn't play that demo. I actually played another demo. It came out like towards the end of October. It's called Silly Polly Beast. Indie game from a solo dev, from what I understand. It's a waifu with a hoodie that looks like Power from Chainsaw Man, and she's holding a skateboard on her back.
I'm in.
Exactly, I'm in. She just wakes up in hell. The first boss you have to encounter is like some old perv that wants like his way with you, but then he runs away. You make a deal with, I'm assuming, the devil, and you get a gun, and it's a magic gun. So when you defeat enemies with it, you'll get the bullets back. Or if you go by like a burning trash can, you also get your bullets reloaded there. And it's a top-down shooter, twin sticks, and you're just walking around fighting demons. You can use the skateboard as a melee weapon. And if you hold the melee button, you actually throw it a little bit, and it does a spin and comes back at you. Combat felt good. It did get a little tough when you run out of bullets, and you can run out of bullets pretty fast. So I had to be careful with how I was doing stuff. But yeah, it was fun. It was also unique, too, where I started the demo, and it gave me two options. Do I want to just play the demo for gameplay, or do I want to play it and see what the story is?
I really like the design of this game. I do like the top-down. It always reminds me. My go-to for this kind of genre is Smash TV, because that was like the game I played growing up, and that's just like the one game that I like relate to the most whenever I see a top-down shooter. Either that or the top-down version of Zombies from one of the Black Ops games. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, the arcade.
Yeah, exactly. I do like the art style, like the way that she's drawn and stuff too. Like in between, like the cutscenes where she's talking to like NPCs or bosses or whatever.
I don't know how to call it, but there's like it's not 2D, but it's 3D, 2D. There's like side scroller. There's like side scroller bits too. You remember that horror Vita game that was supposed to be like Silent Hill, but it's pixelated? That horror game on the Vita.
I know the one. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's only $20, full price. And the soundtrack's pretty awesome, too. They uploaded it on YouTube to check out. Pretty cool. I mean, the background for the dev, from what I saw, was just mobile games. Like cutesy-looking, simple racing games and stuff like that. Them take a crack at, I guess, as they say, console games. Yeah, I'll be definitely picking that up at some point. I'd say give it a try, man. The demo's not that long if you just do the gameplay mode. It took me a while to understand like how the gun worked. I thought it was just going to be like Mista's stand from part 5. Just because like you get the gun, the first thing that happens like, oh, you have to get bullets, and then you get the bullets and they all have faces on it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they return back to you after you kill enemies. So I was thinking, oh, okay, so you shoot them, they come back. That's like the loop. I got to the boss and I was like, oh shit, I have to like actually calculate how am I gonna do this. And another cool thing, since you're in hell and there's like devils and stuff, there's magic involved. You get one ability that you can use. You step into like the circle and it's a fly, so that way you could fly. I was like, oh, okay, but I wasn't moving. It's like, what's going on? Oh, you're using the gun to activate the magic. Therefore, you have to shoot the gun to propel yourself. I watched a new movie recently. I remember seeing like the poster for it and it said, oh, you know what, this looks fun. I'll check it out. And then it's on Prime. The new Kevin James movie, Playdate. It also has, it's not Alan Rickman. I keep saying the wrong name for some reason. It's the actor that plays Jack Reacher currently on Amazon.
Alan Richson.
Big buff dude. And he is the comedy relief of the duo. This guy just kills it being funny. Yeah, it's like a traditional like buddy cop film where they're both dads and like they're trying to connect with their sons, and then this thing happens and they're being chased by like, you know, people with guns. So Alan's character he's like an ex-military guy, so he's doing all the fighting and stuff, and Kevin James is just being there all scared and stuff. It's great. We get to the end of the movie and they show up like at this warehouse area, and just looking around at like the set, I'm like, dude, what's the budget for this movie? It looks so cheap, but like in a good way. Like it adds more to the movie for sure. And it does get to like B-tier movie plots towards the ends, but there's a good amount of laughs overall. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's only like an hour and a half, I think, too.
Looks pretty funny. I'm watching the trailer right now, and it's actually honestly what sold me was the beginning of the trailer where he started fighting the kid and they were getting rough with each other, yeeting spirals of the football at each other like as hard as they could. It's insane,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's so like batshit crazy in the beginning of how like hyper Alan Richman's character is and his son. Hey, we're gonna do this? All right, let's go, guys. Come on, let's do this. Oh, I can't believe our sons have new best friends, and I do too. And Kevin James like, I just want to go home, dude. What the fuck is this? Great cast. There were some surprise like I guess cameos, because like some of them only show up for one scene, and I was like, what is he doing in this movie? Or like, oh, she's in this movie. It's gonna be great.
That was me when I saw that blonde chick from Scrubs. I'm like, no way, dude. It's a throwback.
That's what she's from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
I was
Scrubs.
trying to remember what the hell she was from.
Now she's actually kind of funny too. It looks like a good time all around. And there was that other actor. I remember his face, but I do not remember the roles he was in. Kevin James is already fucking funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I knew it was Kevin James, I was like, I'm in. Last thing I'll say about the movie is the song selection is great. Even when it does the... I forget which studio it is that does this. But whatever, like when the logo reels in from the studio and it doesn't play the normal song, it plays a song they picked. I was like, oh, perfect. I already know it's going to be a good one. And then like the bangers kept coming out. It was great. Yeah, the director, he's only done 8 films. I've only seen 2 other ones. It was The Animal with Rob Schneider.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Let's Be Cops.
Oh, that's also okay. Yeah, this for sure was a must watch then. That's great, man. I also watched the movie. There's a couple of movies like this, but the most recent one, Good Boy, the 2025 version.
Oh, the dog movie.
Yeah, because apparently there are other movies. Like there's some other movies called Good Boy. 2023 is kind of like you remember Wilfred on FX?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh, it's like that?
Yeah, but one of the other movies, and then another movie called Good Boy from 2022 actually looks like a horror movie. It's a thriller, but
it's the one from this year, right?
The one from this year, yeah. It's an independent film channel production, which is pretty good, pretty cool. I've seen a couple of IFC movies, and they're all foreign film, really like niche, artsy type of stuff. I'm glad this one made it into like the big leagues. It follows the dog around. There's a little bit of dialogue here and there. There's only I think 6 people within the movie, 7 if you count the doctor, I guess. The whole focus is on the dog. I don't want to spoil too much. It's not really that scary. It's just kind of like there's a little bit of jump scares here and there, and it's confirmed the dog doesn't die. In fact, like the only thing that happens to the dog is like the owner pushes him away pretty roughly for my taste, but I get it. You know, it's a movie. Like you have to do it as convincing as possible to get the dog away. Besides that, it's just a dog roaming around the house, looking at whatever the hell's in the house, and sometimes like the creature like manifests into physical form, and you see it like grab the dog gets scared. Give this fucking dog an Oscar, man. The way you can see its face, like it's curious at what it's looking at, and then the times when it's scared, the only time he barks is when Indy, that's the name, the only time Indy barks, its owner gets dragged away, right, and the door closes, so he's like trying to get his attention and shit. Other than that, he is actually a good boy. Like he doesn't bark a lot. He doesn't do dog things a lot. Like you barely see his tongue in the whole movie. when they fucking pant for no reason, you know. There's only like a couple times, but that's when like it's stressed and it knows something's about to fucking happen. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I give this dog an Oscar because goddamn, man, he sold the fuck out of this movie. It was a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Me and my sister told our parents to watch it, and we all watched it, and that shit was pretty good. Pretty freaking good. There's like whatever little blood there is, it's because the owner is like sick, right? So he coughs up blood here and there. But other than that, there's like it's just a thriller. It's really good. I also I saw Frankenstein.
Oh, you did?
From Guillermo del Toro.
Did you watch it in theaters?
Nah, I watched it at home.
Okay.
Just because like I saw I walked in and my parents were watching it, and then I just fucking sat my ass down and watched it. And that is actually a good movie, man. But holy shit, I already knew it was gonna be good because it's Mr. Del Toro. You know, if Dead Man is making a movie about a dead man, come on, you gotta watch it. You know,
exactly.
Now, I didn't read the book, Mary Shelley's book, but I heard people were saying that this is like as close as it gets to the book. But from, you know, what we see or what we've seen in old media and stuff, is the old show called The Munsters?
Yeah, The Munsters. Yeah, man.
Where it's like a family sitcom, but it's all the monsters.
Yes, yeah. Such a classic.
So you would think of Frankenstein as like that? Yeah. Like just tall lurch, doesn't say anything, goes right. This movie is actually very poetic in the fact that there's like two sides of the story, right? It's the doctor's version and then the boy Frankie's version. The doctor is just, you know, you see him going mad like as the story goes on. He feels like he hasn't perfected what he was trying to do because he was trying to make life from death and show it to like the medical committee from back then. He was trying to get accepted, I think, or trying to get funds or something. I don't know. But he was experimenting with revival through like electricity and stuff like that. And then you see him like turning more and more of an asshole, not seeing the monster as like an actual human, but more of like his tool. From the monster's perspective, you see him like he's literally just a baby in the beginning, like, but he can walk and he's fucking tall and shit. He's really strong, but he no think good. What happens is throughout his life, he learns how to read, how to talk, what it means to be. Really makes a decision whether or not he chooses to be the monster everybody thinks he is or to exist, I guess. Like what to do with life once you have it. Because not only is he like undead, but he's also immortal, apparently. He's been shot like a bunch of fucking times, but his wounds like close up super quick. So he has like an X factor going on. He helps people out, but like from behind the scenes, right? And in turn, they don't know what's helping him out, but so they assume he's like the spirit of the forest, and he helps out whenever like nobody's looking. So they leave out stuff for him, and he ends up wearing their like the clothes they leave out. He eats their food and stuff. Makes friends with the rats, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's gonna be a second movie. It feels like there should be. It's like you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice, or maybe you can, like, because all he wants is love, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's such like an emotional distance between him and the doctor that like you don't know if the doctor is ever gonna do anything for the monster, which is sad. And like it's they go more in depth about it in the movie, but I think it's worth watching. It's worth the amount of time. It's such a good movie, man. This was one of the ones I was actually gonna watch in the theater, but the fact that like it was playing right here in my home, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch it here. Free refills on my drink. It's perfect.
I was waiting out to watch it in theaters, but yeah, I might just pop it on the TV at some point because I gotta see it. It's The Boy, strong cast and all that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I haven't read the book either for Frankenstein, but I do remember hearing that, like, the monster's actually a more complex character than what we think he is.
Do you remember the show on Adult Swim, Frankenhole?
No.
It's a spoof on Frankenstein. The main characters are, of course, the doctor Victor Frankenstein, his wife, his assistant Igor, the actual creature monster Frankenstein, and then Dracula, Death. The doctor creates some like a time portal called the Frankenhole. He gives that to people. I think he gives it, or people find out about it. A bunch of people from time. It's like it's like Time Squad, right?
Yeah.
People just go back in time and ask the doctor for help on something, and he goes and fucks it up somehow, and then they go back, and then the episode's over. The fucking funny thing is that, so quick tangent, the doctor and his wife are both immortal. Oh, and then his assistant, he has two assistants. He has Igor and his assistant Polidori. They're all immortal because I think the doctor had an immortality serum, right? And he drugged his wife, so she's immortal with him now. But she hates his ass. She hates his fucking guts so much, and she's in love with Dracula. The Frankenstein on that show reminds me of the movie, because like they're both very similar, very like they're both tortured. They both feel a sense of like punishment just for living. It's so good. But yeah, Frankenstein is a must watch. That is probably, like, as far as I can remember, that's probably my favorite movie of the year.
Did you ever watch his Pinocchio?
No, and I think that one's next, honestly, now that you mention it. It's recent, right?
Yeah, it's like, I think 2 years ago it came out. Or last year.
Yeah.
It's a claymation too. Yeah, our boy Deadman just has this, I don't know, something about him and like these old stories. He understands what to do. The best part about that is you do get to see a little bit of his monster designs in that movie. And that's something I was not expecting. And
because of this movie, and I'm pretty sure Pinocchio's going to be pretty good too, but have you seen that horror movie that's coming out called Keeper?
oh yeah, I keep seeing trailers and stuff.
Yeah, acclaimed by the one man, Mr. Kojima himself. And I think Del
Yes.
Toro actually said some stuff about it too.
I think he's like an executive producer in it or something. Hey, while we're still on the track for films, I don't know. I guess I was nostalgic, and I was like, you know what? I kind of missed this era. Let me check it out. And I was like, oh, you know what? I never even watched the rest of this trilogy. So let's go in, man. I watched Maze Runner. And man, I gotta tell you, man, yeah, that era of young adult books turned to movies, that was a time. Huge budget, everything's bombastic at the end of the films. All I can say is they're pretty young adult books, pretty simple plot lines. Like after watching the second one and the third one, I'm like, okay, it's hitting all the beats I was expecting, like to wrap up a finale and stuff. But it was still cool to watch. Like it was still entertaining to look at. The cast is more or less solid. I didn't know I forget the actor's name. I think it's Emilio, the one that plays Gus in Breaking Bad. He's in the second and third movies. Also, to my surprise, there's one actor in the third movie. He has like a specific role, and it's freaking Walton Goggins. Post-apocalyptic world where like there's sun flares that go off, and it causes like the flare virus, and it's like, you know, it's this world's version of zombies. Walton Goggins' character is affected by it, but he's taking the serum that this company's been trying to make a cure for to suppress it. So he's like half zombified, and so like his nose is missing, his face is all distorted. And the first thing I thought of was, oh, I wonder if the Fallout people saw this and said, yeah, we need him to be our ghoul. But yeah, again, like decent films. They get pretty long though. Like I think one got to like 2.5 hours, and I was like, wow, this is a lot. Like we're trying to cram that whole book into this.
Does it make you want to go back and read them?
I thought about it, yeah, because I don't know why I kept thinking that there was supposed to be another movie. And I guess there is, like, it's still in the works. But I thought it was going to be with our cast, but it's not. It's because, like, the other books that came out was, like, prequels. There's a sequel series. I believe it's, like, a trilogy. It's set, like, 70 years later, I think. And it's, like, the descendants of the main cast of the original books. The next gen. Like, I could be down to watch something like that. Or read something like that, too. I could be down, but, yeah, I have so many books to read. You know, it's just going to be on a backlog forever, basically.
I feel that there's a couple of books I've been wanting to read back in the day that I never really got around to finishing the series. There's like multiple books in the series, but yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like there's a lot too much right now. Like I feel like audiobooks are the way to go right now, especially with I want to say it's different, but there is some similar. You do retain some information as well when you listen to the book instead of reading it itself. I feel like if anything, reading it just helps you like read gooder. Yeah, sometimes I do want pages in between my hands just so I can reread what's going on. Like Snow Crash keeps me glued until my legs fall asleep, and then that's when I realize like, oh, that's it. Keep going. We can stop right there. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll feel the same way with Words of Radiance. I'm only reading White Sand right now because
Pictures are nice. Yeah, yeah. I've been talking about like audiobooks and stuff at work with some coworkers. I'm always like trying to upsell the Kindle to everybody. It's like, get a Kindle. It's pretty good. It's worth it, I think. And then they say like, oh yeah, but I like the pages, like turning the pages and stuff. I was like, no, I get that too. Like I like that feeling too. Like you're like, oh man, like too. You know, at the end of the day of reading or end of the week, you look like, man, I read that much. Like, that's crazy. And then, yeah, talking about audiobooks, too, and how, like, well, for me, it's like you got to have, like, a good narrator. Like, he's got to be able to match, like, the tone and to be able to do certain things. Like, you know, like our boy that does Wheel of Time and the Cosmere books. But he does a great job at doing those. And also the woman that voices the female POVs, too.
Michael Kramer.
That's his name.
He's a godsend to my ears whenever I'm reading something. Oh, Kate Redding.
Right, yeah, she's the other one. Yes. Yeah, like they're the goats. And then like I remember I looked at the Death Stranding novelization. I was looking at the audiobook because I was curious, like, oh, maybe I'll listen to it. Like I want to see who does it. Like no offense or anything, but yeah, it's just some kind of like just generic old white guy voice. That's not what we need for Death Stranding, man.
It'd be cool if it was Die Hard Man.
Yeah, if he read it, oh man, that would have been great. I brought it up before, and I haven't talked about it yet, but I did finish the first book for Vampire Hunter D. It's right up my alley. I enjoyed the book. It's pretty cool. I got confused in the beginning because I was like, what's going on? You know, he's a vampire hunter, describing the setting and stuff early on. It sounds like, oh, okay, so it's like, you know, like 1800s or something, 1600s, classic time window. And then you're reading and it's like, okay, he gets off his cyborg horse and goes talk to this lady. And then she turns off the electromagnetic field. I said, what? What's happening? And I was like, did I read this thing wrong? Because chapter 1 for the book had what year it was. I was like, well, let me go back. I thought it said like 1200 AD. No. It's set in 12,000 AD.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, okay, we're like in the future.
The second cycle of humanity.
Yeah, like everything's all Western and stuff. There's just weird technology here. Like, what? Like, okay, interesting setting. Eventually, the book explains what happens to the world. Basically, like, humanity gets wiped out. There's like an apocalyptic event or something that happens. The vampires survive, and they spend like 7,000 years rebuilding society, where they're kind of like the big shadow government. And they're just rebuilding because, you know, they have all this technology and stuff because they live forever. They brought humanity back from the brink of extinction and stuff. It's like that's a cool twist on it. Because they're vampires, you can just get away with having weird technology. And I think that's awesome. But then something else happens and the vampires almost go extinct. So there's only a few of them left in the world. But they're still like a daunting presence because they've also created all the other like classic monsters like werewolves and just all sorts of wild creatures. Just, you know, on their downtime, they just experimented in creating new life. The way D presents himself in the world and what he's doing, it's very episodic, very monster of the week. It's like Vast just traveling around in Trigun, you know, and then he gets caught up in situations and has to deal with it and all that. The writing is pretty solid. Like, the translator does a great job. He has a deep connection with the author, and he's actually gone on record talking about the future of the series. It's from Dark Horse. They're translating the books, but they've stopped at 30. He's talked about how him and the author want to continue translating the books with or without Dark Horse, and like they would try to figure out a way to bring the other novels in. After hearing that and reading the first book, I'm like, yeah, this series is in good hands. Like, I'm going to trust the translation and everything. Yeah, it was great. And every so often there will be like some art to describe like the scene that just happened, and it's like really good art, just super like harsh tones where it's like very minimalist. The way they're drawn, it's just fantastic. But yeah, like D himself as a main character he's very stoic, kind of like cut off. It's very obviously, so he's like a Dampier, where he's half vampire, half human. it's very obvious like who he is, like what's his like real identity by the end, like halfway even in the first book. Like the clues are pretty obvious of who he is and why he's so important and strong. And there's like another aspect to his character which is interesting. They haven't dove deep into what that is yet, but I'm curious to see what that. But yeah, cool world. I'm like halfway through the second book right now. It's episodic, and he has a lot of free reign here to just kind of like do whatever he wants with the world building. So like I felt like all Western vibes from the first book in here. I'm like, it's more city, village, and like a lot more like science stuff, it feels like, and all that. Like there's like the main premise of this village is like there's a school and we just have to send people to the city. They're gonna help us out and like really give their hometown, like make it prosperous. And so far, I would say, like, yeah, you could jump around from what I read, reading these. Like, sure, there is stuff that carries over, but there's enough new stuff to be, like, fresh for anybody. Like, so if you find a random volume somewhere, I think you should be okay. Alrighty, guys, before we get out of here, we have an email, unversedpodcast@gmail.com. We got it again from the boy Mark, so thank you as always. And he comes in after this email's done loading. I'll let you know. He has a question. It says, was there any like anime or movie series that you just gave up waiting for the new thing to come out and you just went straight to the source material? His example was Harry Potter. He couldn't wait for the final movie, so he just went ahead and finished with the books. I feel like a lot of people these days, when it comes to anime, I know I have, you'll watch like the first season of the anime or whatever, and if I liked it enough, I was like, okay, where does this end for the manga? All right, I'll just pick up the manga where it left off and then just go through. I guess like Claymore and Beelzebub, Soul Eater, all those classic animes in that time frame. Like I would watch it, it was awesome, and then just pick up and just keep going.
My most recent example of this is about 4 years ago. Season 1 of Invincible. Funny enough, I watched the first episode with Karina, and all we watched was the very first episode. And after that, I just got hooked. But I didn't watch the rest of the season. I just immediately jumped into the book.
Whoa.
And the reason why I couldn't finish watching the show was because after it was the first episode, really. Like, the first episode was a one and done with that part with Omni-Man just killing everybody in the beginning. I mean, I really could not express how absorbed I got into it immediately. And I think, honestly, it was the idea of, I want to say, like a more mature DC universe. That's kind of what threw me in it. It's just like, reading after the first episode, Mark retaining his powers, sort of somewhat kind of starting off as a superhero under his dad's tutelage, kind of learning the ropes, meeting the rest of his crew before, he gets to that point where he confronts his dad, all in that beginning series. And it was just really nuts. I can just remember the feeling of finishing like an issue. It was just like immediately I was into like whatever happens to happen next. I need to find out right now. Like even if I'm super tired for work tomorrow, if I have like 1 hour of sleep for work, I don't care. Like I'm all the way invested in this right now. You know what I mean? It's been a while since I've had a feeling like that again for any sort of particular series that I've either watched or played or anything like that. But I would definitely put in my recommendation right now that if you haven't checked out any of Invincible in its entirety, whether you haven't read it or watched it or anything like that, it is worth checking out. You should watch that or read it.
I just finished season 3.
Ooh, buddy.
It's so fucking good, dude.
So good. It's really good.
So good. Dude.
Oscar, do you know if the Adam Eve special, is that in the comics?
Yeah, they do go into her background. Like they go into basically how she got her powers, what happened, essentially why she's like kind of inhibited at first. Like they don't really tell you outright, but she doesn't have the full extent of her powers until like way later on in the story. But yeah, they do explain in Invincible like part of her background, like what happened to her and kind of how she uses her power as a kid. It's pretty cool, man. I would say probably the thing that interests me the most about season 1 of Invincible, they kind of have a tie-in to parallel universes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that needed to be like expanded into other issues of other series, right? It's just like directly related to what's happening in Invincible. All of these parallel universes, they pretty much go hand in hand with the main plot of what's happening. And I always thought it was cool to see like just the alternate versions of main characters and villains and things like that. And I mean, I think that they touched on this by season 3 because by that point, one of the bad guys, maybe you can help me out, Gerry, because I don't remember his name, but he's like a black guy.
Angstrom Levy.
So Angstrom, he's just set on ruining Invincible's life because Invincible's inadvertently ruined Angstrom Levy's life, but not on purpose. And it ended up being this whole thing where Angstrom was able to work with these other super villains. I mean, like I can get into all these characters, but I'm not really gonna get into
The
it.
technicians.
The twins. The twins are so fucking good, dude. They're so awesome.
They're hilarious, man.
So good. I mean, yeah, like across the whole table. I mean, like it's clearly obvious that we're all heavily involved in Invincible, and we can all definitely recommend this to be a good series.
I like One Piece. No, I was watching One Piece back in the day when it was on. I'm like, oh, I need more, man. So then I picked it up, and I never looked back. It stays gas. It's always peaking.
So, all right, guys. Again, thank you for the questions. Well, we have more backed up, so we'll bring it up on the next episodes. And again, unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And with that, we'll catch you on the next one.
Tune in next time when we talk about color gradients.